this article that put down Caitlin Clark in order to prop up Asia, which is crazy because if you guys remember, Caitlin Clark was Time's Sportsperson of the Year just last year.
Or that comment makes it sound like Caitlin's arrival wiped out the WNBA's past, as if her popularity somehow weakened the league's legacy instead of adding to what earlier generations built. But that way of looking at it skips over an important truth. Before Caitlin played her first pro season, the league was averaging about 399,000 viewers. That isn't a sign of steady growth or a sport on the edge of breaking into the mainstream. It points to a league that was having a hard time staying relevant, competing for attention in a crowded sports and entertainment market where fans have endless choices.
Still comes down on your shoulders.
I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing Black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, like, I try to just be real and authentic and, you know, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of...
AA told Time magazine that the league's recent growth was inevitable, that it was simply a matter of time. That claim shows a deep misunderstanding of how modern sports media and the entertainment business actually work. The WNBA had nearly 3 decades to break into the mainstream before Caitlin Clark arrived. 28 years filled with elite talent, championship runs, thrilling playoff moments, and American women winning gold medals on the world stage. Yet the league never fully crossed into everyday sports culture. It didn't happen with Lisa Leslie, despite her dominance and star power. It didn't happen with Diana Taurasi, who many consider the greatest of all time. It didn't happen with Candace Parker, who had both on-court excellence and media appeal. It didn't happen with Breanna Stewart, one of the most powerful players the game has ever seen. These women are legends. They deserve immense respect for building the foundation the league stands on today. But here's the uncomfortable truth. None of them created the kind of mainstream cultural moment Caitlin generated in a single season. Saying this surge was inevitable ignores reality. Without Caitlin and the specific phenomenon surrounding her, the league was headed toward another year of sub-400,000 average viewership, with no clear path to a breakout moment. And this goes beyond ratings. It's also about how established players have treated the person who directly fueled higher salaries, bigger endorsement deals, and unprecedented media attention. All season long, Caitlin absorbed excessive physical play. Game after game featured hard contact, obvious fouls, and borderline flagrant hits that went uncalled. Shoulder checks and hip checks that would have resulted in immediate whistles, or even ejections, if committed against other players were routinely ignored. The Aces faced the Fever multiple times, and in their June matchup there was a moment that stood out. Caitlin drove to the basket, was fouled blatantly, and even the broadcast crew expressed disbelief when no whistle came. The play continued. Aya scored on the other end, and the officials never reviewed it. That wasn't an isolated incident. Throughout the season, referees consistently protected established stars while allowing Caitlin to take punishment that would have sent nearly anyone else to the free throw line. Then there's the Google Trends data, which some used to argue Caitlin's impact was exaggerated. In 2025, only one WNBA player appeared in the world's top 10 most searched athletes across all sports. Sophie Cunningham, ranked 7th. Caitlin wasn't on the list. Supporters of AA point to this as proof the hype didn't match reality. What they leave out is critical context. Caitlin missed most of the 2025 season after suffering knee injuries, playing just 13 games before being sidelined. And during her absence, interest collapsed. Viewership dropped sharply. Casual fans disappeared. That doesn't weaken the argument for her impact, it proves it. When Caitlin wasn't on the court, the new audience she brought with her stopped watching. The league's core fans stayed loyal, as they always have. But the explosive growth, the mainstream attention, the millions of new eyes vanished. That was the difference Caitlin made. AA later said. This growth and attention was inevitable. But the league's new media rights deal, the increased revenue, and the improved travel and pay conditions didn't happen by chance. Networks saw the numbers Caitlin produced. They saw sold-out arenas, massive ratings spikes, and surging merchandise sales. That's what convinced them to invest. What makes this situation especially frustrating for Caitlyn's supporters is how she's handled it. She has consistently credited the Black women who built the league, players like Cheryl Swoops, Tamika Catchings, and Maya Moore, for paving the way. When the Time controversy erupted online, Caitlyn didn't respond with interviews or social media arguments. She posted a photo of herself golfing with a simple caption about taking care of her mind and body. That was it. She didn't defend herself. She didn't fire back. She didn't argue over percentages. She quietly stepped away while others debated her value. That puts her in an impossible position. If she points to the data, she's accused of centering herself. If she celebrates her success, she's accused of diminishing others. If she stays silent, her impact gets minimized anyway. So she lets the numbers speak. And those numbers are loud. The league is now seeing what happens when its biggest draw is publicly downplayed. Viewership is falling. Engagement is shrinking. Casual fans aren't sticking around when the league itself seems conflicted about embracing the popularity that brought them in. Networks notice. Sponsors notice. Declining numbers don't lie, no matter how the narrative shifts. Calling Caitlyn responsible for just 5% of growth looks absurd when viewership drops 48% without her. It looks even worse when Indiana Fever games pull double or triple the audience they had before she arrived. The WNBA was handed a rare gift. A generational talent who brought unprecedented attention, packed arenas, and made casual sports fans care. Instead of fully building on that momentum, jealousy and insecurity created division.AA. Is an extraordinary player with an all-time resume. But diminishing Caitlyn Clark doesn't elevate anyone. It makes the league look small. It makes longtime stars look threatened. And it makes new fans wonder why they should stay when the league doesn't seem to value the very thing that brought them in as the offseason drags on. The regret is becoming visible. Empty seats, declining engagement, and growing questions from sponsors and networks. Caitlyn brought something rare. Elite skill paired with a cultural moment. The league can either acknowledge that and grow from it, or keep pretending it was inevitable and watch casual fans fade away.